self-care girly? Are you a fitness lover? There's so many different types of archetypes of, the hot girl era or all of these different TikTok trends that we see. And we want to fit ourselves into these little boxes. I don't know about you, but our whole lives, we kind of have a plan, go to elementary school, go to middle school, go to high school, go to college or university, but then we graduate and then it's like, then what? The idea of who we are and our general self-image kind of deteriorates completely the moment we graduate, and then we're left to try and find our purpose in our 20s, which is the hardest thing to do ever. I completely lost my self-identity the moment I graduated, and I worked for years trying to figure out who am I supposed to be. Am I the 9-to-5 boss babe? That didn't feel right. Am I the self-care era girl? No. If the soft feminine energy, all of that is a part of who I am, but I don't fit into these little types of TikTok trend boxes because I'm a real person. So, the year of 2022 was coming to terms with who I am as an individual, not, what I'm supposed to be or what everybody else is telling me to be. So in the year of 2022, that's what I figured out. Now, in the year of 2023, I want you guys to visualize what type of person you want to become. So think beyond the TikTok trends, think beyond, what everyone else, what the trendy thing it is to be, and figure out what you actually want for yourself. What do you want? Do you want to finally get rid of that one toxic person in your life? Do you want to start standing up for yourself or learning how to not let people walk all over you? Do you want to figure out how to just have a work-life balance and work a 9-to-5 and enjoy it and come home clean, spend time with your friends, family, loved ones, and enjoy the life you're in? That is so hard. I find balancing in your 20s is so difficult. But with that being said, today's episode is all about self-reflection, setting goals in 2023, how to elevate your life and really make this year the absolute best one yet. So hi, my name is Madison. Welcome to the Get Up and Glow podcast. So exciting. This is our first episode. So bear with me. I am new at this and I'm going to try to deliver the absolute most premium content for you guys, but it's going to get better in time, I promise. So a little bit about me. Hi, my name is Madison. I am 23 years old. I just recently graduated from university, which I studied marketing. I am now working full-time in marketing from home for a few different small businesses and loving every second of it. I also recently just moved in with my boyfriend. We moved to a city close to Toronto, Ontario, and I'm also loving that. Although, with that being said, everything I just said about myself is great and amazing, but also been a really big challenge. And that's what we're going to talk about in the podcast. We're going to talk about being in your 20s, what it's actually like, and how to really just make the most of it and come to terms with who you are and who you want to be, and find a way to make both of those align with each other. Okay, let's talk New Year's resolutions. It is 2023. Let's make this the best year yet. Now, how do you do that? Well, I have lots of experience with resolutions and just general goal planning. I literally set plans based on a weekly basis and a monthly basis and a yearly basis, and I've achieved most of them. With that being said, I also think we should give ourselves grace and, not pressure ourselves or overwork ourselves. I am not about hustle culture, and this podcast is not going to be promoting that, but instead it's going to be promoting how you can achieve the life of your dreams and set resolutions and actually meet them by the end of this year without feeling overworked, without feeling like you're hustling, and, prioritizing your self-care and your well-being too. So how do you do that? Step number 1. Let's visualize the type of women we want to become. Going back to what I originally said at the start of this podcast, who are you now and who do you want to be? Do some self-reflection. What worked this year? In 2022, what made you happy? What were your best moments and what were your lowest points? I feel like it all comes in highs and lows, and it's great when it's amazing, and when it's not, nobody talks about that. So take a moment to reflect not only on the best times of 2022, but on the worst, and how you dealt with that and how you overcame it. Those things are important to help you visualize your goals and become a better person in 2023, because you can grow from that. If you don't reflect and learn from your prior mistakes or your prior successes, it's kind of all for nothing. You want to recreate the good times and learn how to avoid the bad times when you can, or how you can cope and be graceful with yourself during those bad times, because sometimes it just sucks and there's nothing you can do about it other than just giving yourself time to heal. And that is okay. The next thing I want to say is Pinterest is your best friend. So after you've done the self-reflection, once you figured out, you know what, I loved being active and I felt great when I saw my friends once a month, and the months where I didn't see anybody and I was really into TikTok scrolling for hours a day, those are the times where I felt the worst about myself. Great, there's one of your goals, or two of your goals. Make more time for friends and stop scrolling so much on TikTok. Now those are really big goals. Are they really achievable? Maybe, but if you go and kind of niche your goals down, I find that it's way more easier to achieve them, and you're gonna feel better about yourself when you do. So go to Pinterest, type in your big macro goals, and make a big macro level Pinterest mood board for 2023. I did this for me, and my theme, which you don't even realize you're doing a theme until you kind of go and look and they all match, like usually into an aesthetic, but mine's working girly, the 9 to 5. I really want to come into my own in my job, but it's also just like city life, spending time with friends, being a little bit more elevated in terms of my style. That is what I did in terms of macro level goals. So type in your keywords, put it all into a mood board, and then look at that as a whole and see if that is or that represents the type of woman you'd love to become. Okay, after you've done that, great. Think smaller. I know that sounds horrible. Like, why are you telling me to think smaller? Can't you tell me that you can achieve everything and all of your dreams will come true? Yes, of course. But starting small will get you there. You have to learn to walk before you can run. And coming out of the gate with these giant goals is just not realistic. You're going to feel bad about yourself and you're going to burn yourself out. So honey, listen, trust me. Think smaller. Take your big goals and break them down. For me, in 2022, I said, I want to read 30 books this year. Did I? Well, it's halfway through December 2022 now, and I've read 19. So no, but I came close. So I'm setting that again as my New Year's resolution for 2023. I want to read 30 books again. So that is different than saying, I want to read tons of books. I want to read more books. Or saying, I want to read 100 books. I know people who have read way more than 100 books in a year, which is crazy to me, truly. If you're one of those people, good on you. You are amazing. I wish I could be you, not me. But 30 books is a little bit more maintainable while also making it a goal. It's going to be hard. It's not saying, okay, I want to read 5 books. Because, for me, I know easily I can read 5 books in a year. So it's not a goal or a resolution, not something I have to work at. 30 books is hard, but it is doable. And I could have read 30 books in 2022, but I didn't prioritize it as much as I could have because going back again, I was giving myself a little bit of a grace. I moved to a new city, my whole life changed. That could be an episode of its own. Moving in with a boy, your long-term partner, moving away from everybody and everything you've ever known. I can totally make that into an episode and give you advice for how I coped with that. But the short story is, I gave myself a whole lot of grace, and that is why I'm not sitting here and saying, I've read 30 books, but the premise is start small. They're going to be a lot more achievable, and it's going to help define your goals it's going to help set you up to achieving those goals and the bigger goals, if that makes sense. Okay. The next step is visualization. It's so important. It sounds crazy because I told you visualize yourself and who you want to be already, but that is different than consistently visualizing yourself as that woman that you want to become at the end of 2023. I'm talking take photos that you really feel represent that type of person you want to be, and make phone backgrounds. Do it every month or just do it once a year. Make an actual mood board and put it up around your room or wherever you're going to see it often. I did what I did, and it honestly helped me so much with my 2022 goals. Was I took my Notion, which is an organizational software that I use every single day for all of my to-do lists. I keep my general life, my work and personal life organized. And I put 2022 goals, and I had all my goals down on one sheet, and it helped me because every single morning when I worked, I opened my Notion, and that's the first thing I saw. So it kind of kept me accountable because I was able to check off the ones like riding in a helicopter, going to Vegas, things like that. I was able to check them off as I did them. The more ongoing goals, like exercise once a week. Well, I know I exercise more than once a week, but I'm talking about like actual like spin like classes, like the hardcore exercising. Those things I wouldn't check off until the end of 2022, but just seeing them reminds me that I set those goals for myself and that they're still there and I still need to work at them. So that is a huge step of actually making these goals happen. Don't just spend all this time self-reflecting, figuring out who you want to be, spending hours redefining the life that you want, and then forget about it in a month. Keep your goals around you. Look at them, look at photos that remind you of them, and that is the best way that you're going to be reminded to achieve them, and that's the best way that you actually will make your dream life come to life. Okay, so let's talk about my 2022. What are the things that I am proud of? What are some of the goals that I set that I achieved? And I'm going to talk about this briefly because I don't want this podcast to be mainly just about me, but I want it to be more of a chat between friends. I want it to be a supportive environment for women in their 20s. But with that being said, when I listen to podcasts, I also like getting a little bit of insight on the person who's giving me that advice to make sure that, like, you know, I should trust them, if that makes sense. So yes, you can trust me in terms of goal setting. I set crazy goals all the time for myself. And by crazy, I just mean crazy amounts and like in terms of the detail, but not crazy as in like, wow, that's a little much. I mean, I don't think so, at least. Regardless, 2022 was a good year for me. It was the year of growth. And originally, I like to put like a word to describe what I think my year is going to be. And in the start of 2022, I put joy. And it was very joyful, although it was very stressful. With that being said, stressful, but in a good way. You know, I moved away from my hometown, only an hour and a half away, not far, but that was a big jump considering I never have moved once in my life, like not even houses with my family. I just lived in the same house my whole life, went to the same school with the same friends, and I finally left the nest and wow, were my eyes open. You know, I do not know how moms do it. I don't know how they work full-time jobs, keep a house clean, take care of kids, cook, all of that stuff. They are truly superheroes. Like if you are a young mom, or if you just, I have a mom listening to me right now, you go girl. That is amazing. I have so much respect for my mom after moving out, but that in itself was such a big learning curve. But you know, 2022, I'm going to look back on it and think of such good memories. This is the time I really started to find who I am. Like, who am I to my core? I learned what my fashion was, like what type of style I like, not just boxing myself into whatever's trendy. I learned about myself and what I'm capable of doing. I went to a Las Vegas, like a trade show, well, not alone, with my boss, and Zach came, but obviously not every single day when I was working, and I did that with like older executive men. I'm sitting here as a 23-year-old girl just trying to make it on my own, and I've learned a lot. And like, it's not easy being someone who's young and trying to be successful, and not even that, just navigating your 20s in general. But this year I've done such a good job at keeping myself moving forward. I have faced obstacles, but I kept going. And I think this has not only been the year of growth, but the year of perseverance for me. And reflecting back on my year of 2022, I think I'm always going to remember it as the year I finally became an adult and learned to embrace who I am, be confident in my own skin, and be unapologetically me. And I think that's amazing. And I think that I wish that every single woman listening to this podcast gets that feeling. And with that being said, like, obviously there's times where people hurt my feelings. I'm human, and I do care about what people think. I do, as much as I would like to think I don't. It does affect me sometimes, but I'm able to process those emotions in a much healthier way. And I think that concludes, you know, what I've learned about myself in 2022. So now let's talk about my personal 2023 goals. I want to share them. Maybe you guys will get inspired from them. Maybe we'll have similar goals. Let me know. We have an Instagram called a Get Up and Glow podcast. Follow us on there. Tell me what your goals are. I would love to hear them. Maybe I'll add more to this list. Regardless, let's just get right into that. Okay, so what are my 2023 goals? First one is maintain my splits. Yes, and I'm saying this, I haven't got my splits yet, but I am so close, and it's early December when I'm filming this, so I am optimistic. I'm going to speak that out into existence. I will be able to do my splits. So in 2023, I'll be maintaining them, just obviously because you have to stretch to continue to like do that. So that is on my list, because if I worked this hard at getting them, I do not want to lose them. I don't want to be that like 45-year-old woman who can like drop into the splits and impress everyone. That will be me one day, only if I maintain it. So it's on the list this year. learning how to type properly. That was a goal I set in 2022, made some progress, but not much. I did not listen to my teachers, type with 2 fingers, and now I work in marketing, which involves a lot of typing, and it is becoming a problem for me because my fingers get sore. I can type super fast. It's just, I'm gonna have arthritis one day, so I need to learn how to give my 2 fingers a break and type properly. Read 30 books. Didn't make it that cut this year. I'm probably going to end up reading 21, 22 by the end of 2022. But 30 books in 2023, that is a resolution for me. I have a swimming pool in my condo building, and I love swimming, but I have no time. So, with that being said, I've tried so hard in 2022 to meet fitness goals, and although I feel somewhat healthy, I don't feel as healthy as I want to be. I want to feel strong in 2023, but I don't want to push myself in the gym, hustle. Like, that's just not the type of woman I am. I am more of a softer, calmer type of woman, and I can't lift weights. I wish I could be that girly, but I'm just not. So, in 2023, I'm going to try and incorporate exercise that actually doesn't feel like exercise, that feels like fun to me. And I think that's going to be a more sustainable way of working out and, feeling strong than if I were to say, I'm going to go and lift weights 6 times a week in the gym. So I want to swim laps once a week. I love swimming. I don't do it enough. And this way, it's like self-care and working out at once. Well, I know for a lot of people, working out is self-care. Not for me. If you are a girly like that, oh my gosh, I relate. If you're not and you're a gym person, I think I literally aspire to be you. I just can't. I've tried everything. It's just not who I am. Regardless, after saying that, I'm going to go to the gym once a week because I do think you do need to lift weights once in a while to keep your body strong. So I'm going to do that once a week. I'm not writing it down twice or 3 times or 4 times because I really don't like it. And I don't want to incorporate a lot of stuff that I don't like into 2023, but I want to incorporate things, even if they're hard, that is going to help build me as a person because I do think it's character building and practicing discipline is so important. So gym once a week, swing laps another time, and then I want to do 100 sit-ups every single day, weekday in the morning. I used to do this for like 2 months and I was looking great. I did this like 2 summers ago during COVID and I felt great. And wow, like I want to bring that back into 2023, and it literally took me like 6 minutes. I think it got down to like being able to do 100 sit-ups in like 4.5 minutes because you get stronger as you go. So I'm going to do that every single day in the morning, each weekday. Another thing, going back to like self-reflecting on what didn't work or where you need to grow, I want to commit to calling my parents and grandparents once a week and having better texting etiquette with my friends. I work a 9 to 5 and it's in marketing, and if you girlies work in marketing or have any type of job where you are staring at a screen all day long, it is exhausting. I come home and the last thing I want to do is like text people all day long or talk to people. Like, it sounds so bad. I am outgoing, but I'm also at the same time an introvert, and I need that peace. So I find it hard after working full time to want to go and like put myself out there and talk about my day. I kind of need a few hours to chill, and then it's going into like cleaning, cooking, working out, and then I don't have the time. But I want to change that. I think I need to start thinking not only about myself but about other people and how I can be a good person for them, and that's something I do need to work on. I am great at self-reflection and growing, but at the same time, like, I can reflect on it, but I don't do anything about it. I'm not saying I'm a bad friend, but I definitely could work on the frequency I reach out to people, my family as well, and that is something I want to prioritize in 2023, giving my friends and family more attention, more detailed attention, like truly listening and following up. Like, I'll make mental notes to check in with people about things, and sometimes I will and sometimes I won't, and I want to be that type of woman who picks up on the little details people tell me about and actually goes and asks them about it a week later, or wishes them luck during the day they get their wisdom teeth out. Like, that sounds so bad, but like, I'm saying that with personal experience because I literally forgot that I forgot her wisdom teeth out, and I remembered like the next day, which, I mean, I felt horrible. Regardless, that is one of my goals for 2023. So my own personal goals, and I like to set my goals in kind of just different categories. I love painting. I love crafting. I am a creative person. That is why I went into marketing, and that's why I love my job so much. But I don't have time for it anymore. But I love to do it. So that is one thing I want to do in 2023. Once a month, I'm going to commit to doing something creative, blocking out 5 hours of my day and getting lost in a painting, getting lost in a crochet project or a needle pointing project, something creative to just stimulate my mind, make me feel good. It relaxes me, and then it really helps me get inspired to create more in the future. Another thing I want to do is once a week, I want to have 3 hours of zero distractions with Zach. Like set a time for whatever time works for us each week, where we put our phones away and we just spend time together. We connect. We don't have a to-do list that I'm thinking about. I'm not thinking about what needs to be cleaned. He's not thinking about what needs to be cooked. It's just us in the moment together. I think, when you move in with a partner, your relationship changes so much for the better. Like I feel like he's my family, but at the same time, if you don't prioritize those dates or those romantic times, I find it can be very hard because you're so used to like your lives being intertwined now. It's not just about, we hang out and that's our time to hang out. It's, we live together, we need to do this grocery shopping, or we need to clean this, or we need to like deep clean the closet, or we need to, just general stuff, laundry, etc. You come home from work and you're tired. It's just a thing. If you live with a partner, I'm sure you know what I understand, but we started doing this thing where we just time block, and for 3 hours we pretend the world doesn't exist, and we just focus on each other. And I think that has benefited us a lot, and it's something I want to continue in 2023. When we have children, we'll reevaluate if I have those 3 hours every week. Probably not, but at this time in my life, that's something I want to prioritize. So then I'm going to run through this super quick because I know I've been talking for quite a while. I want to do things like post bi-weekly on this podcast, grow my TikTok following to 5,000 followers. I want to also, I have career goals as well. I want to make an X amount of dollars. I do this every year. I think, salary negotiation is super important. It's something women do not talk about enough, and it's something that we are hesitant to do, especially as young 20-year-olds. But I am telling you, it has to be done. I pushed myself out of my comfort zone in 2022 and asked my boss for a raise, and it was the scariest thing I ever did. But when I tell you, he literally gave me more than what I was asking. In that moment, I realized I was underselling myself, and I needed to be confident because, someone gave me a piece of advice. I think I was listening to another podcast. Busy Blooming is actually a great podcast. Tess Barclay inspired me to ask for my raise in the first place, but it's like, what would a man do? Like, a man wouldn't hesitate to ask for X amount of dollars. He would just full out and say it. So in 2023, or through the rest of my life, I'm not going to say I'm going to think like a man, but I'm going to not hold myself back, and I'm going to be true to what I think I deserve based on, my growth, based on what I bring to the table. I'm not going to undersell myself. I'm going to have that confidence in the workplace, and that's something I want to continue to have in 2023. Getting 3 brand deals would be an absolute dream. It has been a goal of mine to be an influencer my literal whole life. I was 12 years old, gap teeth, filming in my childhood bedroom YouTube videos, and now I'm here again, trying to do it again with this podcast. So getting 3 brand deals in 2023 would be an absolute dream. I know to other people that's like not a lot, but I think to me, would be amazing. So that's a goal for me. Another thing I want to do is elevate my wardrobe and be more elegant, like dress more elegant. I'm a Shein girly, but I used to be. Now I live in a 700 square foot condo and I do not have the space for all of those clothes, sadly. So that has got me thinking, I want to be the type of woman that dresses well, like in quality clothing that is timeless, clothing that I can wear throughout the rest of my life until, of course, if I don't fit into it, but we'll cross that road when it comes. That is the type of person I want to be. When I interact with the more elite or affluent women, especially when I'm in business and I come along people in business meetings, or if I go to dinner events with my boyfriend, like these women the way they talk is amazing. I would love to become that maybe one day. I feel like I say girly way too much to be included in that group, but who knows, maybe in 10 years I will elevate myself to not include that stuff in my vocabulary. Regardless, I want to dress better. I want to dress in high quality clothes, invest in myself this year, and that is the type of woman I want to become. And then the last three things I always like to, or four, I guess, I like to do some fun things that are kind of easy to check off that I know I'm probably going to do as long as I continue saving. That is go on a tropical vacation with Zachary. I've always wanted to take him down south. He's never been before, and we are currently saving for a trip, so hopefully that will happen. And then I want to go to a ballet, to an art museum, and then the CN Tower, because I literally have lived close to Toronto for my whole life, and now I'm super close to Toronto, and I've never been up the CN Tower, so that is happening in 2023. Regardless, those are my goals. I hope you guys have benefited from learning how to set your own goals this year. I hope you make 2023 the best year yet. You truly deserve it. Just know that you are capable of doing anything you set your mind to. Well, anything, but not everything. And that is important. I know I just listed off like so many goals, but listen to me when I say I listed lots of them, but I don't work on them all at once. I break them down into different months, focus on them. Again, they're really niche. I work on the smaller goals and work on them slowly throughout the year. So it's a big list, but I don't do everything January 1st. Like, it is impossible. But with that being said, whatever your goals are, if you continue to focus on them, if you continue to put positive vibes out into the world, I know you can make them happen. No goal is too big, and no dream is too dumb. Don't let people tell you that your dreams are weird or they're not achievable. You can truly achieve anything you want, and who cares what other people think? I am out here making a podcast, just sitting on my couch, talking about my goals. That makes me so vulnerable. Do I care that people from my past are gonna watch this and be like, oh, haha, so yeah, I don't care. And you shouldn't either. Be true to who you are. Love yourself, and I know that can be hard sometimes, but just try to be the most authentic version of you. Like, speak your own truth, and don't let anyone hold you back from being the person that you want to be this year. So together, let's make 2023 the best year yet. So if you liked this podcast, so together, let's make 2020. Thank you so much for listening to episode 1 of the Get Up and Glow podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. If you are a woman in your 20s or even 30s or even younger than that, I hope you benefit from these podcasts. These future episodes are going to be all about self-growth, self-development, how to come in to your own skin, find out who you truly are, and own it, because you can have the life of your dreams. You can be that person that you want, and you should be unapologetic about who you are. And that is what I want to share with you guys. I want to just talk and build up you, and I want to share my experiences and my mistakes, because I've made them. And with that being said, I hope you have a great rest of your week, you lovely women. Until next time, bye.